Welcome towards... We're getting close to the end of the game now. Oh, it's Asshole again. Hi, Asshole.
Okay, so
But he's on our side now because he hates the military. So that's something.
This is a weird-ass place for, this particular thing to come in from this guy, but...
Wait, did that little kid just imply that his dad goes to a brothel?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, does he?
Well, he
Okay,
said
yeah,
he's
he
been
does.
on edge ever since they closed down the place in however you say it, which was
So, okay.
the red
well,
light
let's-
district.
So, I can understand a government maybe shutting down that kind of business. Why the ice cream, though? I don't get it.
Ice cream is fun, and we can't have fun.
Ice cream is leisure, so
Have these 2 ice cream cones.
I don't think any sane government with any idea how to run thing would ever try to eliminate leisure.
yeah. Honestly, that's actually one of the one of the chief totalitarian rules of thumbs is bread and circuses. In that, if you keep people fed and entertained, people will put up with
Just about anything.
yeah, basically. And by entertained, I mean occasionally you have a big showy party, or so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's
Wait, wasn't she... How did she get dressed? What? Is this a weird dream?
What do you think?
Okay, yeah.
flashback.
That's not really a flashback.
Also, are we to understand from that whole sequence of events that although she lives in a wide open pipe in the side of a sewer, she also sleeps nude? Is that what we're... Is it,
Maybe
what?
she has a
maybe.
curtain.
that's... I would still put on some shorts.
Honestly, I've never seen the appeal of sleeping without clothes on. I keep boxers and a shirt on when I go to sleep.
Well, it's a personal comfort thing. Everyone's different, but at the same time, if there's open access to your room, or more importantly, not a door you can shut in the first place, shorts, you know?
Especially since the creepy grandpa sits outside your place all day. You know.
That
He
too.
never
yeah.
leaves.
Oh, hi, Shadow. So is she just living down underneath the ground with all the kids? Right? Oh yeah, what happened to them? They looked
We'll find out later.
Oh, okay. Are they going to be brought up
At the last possible second, yep.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just something that they were going to just ignore until the sequel.
Nope.
Okay.
The
Oh wait, are we becoming a crazy cat lady collecting all the different cats?
the you know, the humorous sort of stalker mission from earlier where the guy was disguised as Alias, they used actually that to set a weird tone at the beginning of here. I kind of enjoy that. They brought back the joke and used it to actually unsettle you at the start of this. That was good. I appreciate those little narrative notes.
Yeah, time to go beat up some plant Nevi.
Why do we need to beat up Nevi in our dreams?
Because
Because there
they're
has to be gameplay.
eating our REM sleep. Eh?
What?
They're attacking Dusty.
Dusty, who is now a panther for some reason.
Well,
Yep.
he turned into a panther a couple of different times throughout the game.
Oh, now he's a cat.
Well, I mean, he was always a cat because
No.
a panther's a type of
He's
cat.
a mini panther.
Also, what was with the bajillion cats that Alias had?
He is also a crazy cat lady.
He is also a crazy cat lady. Okay.
Yes.
Sure. That's not a sentence I thought I would ever hear in my lifetime, but okay.
Well-
We've said dumber things on this channel, so...
Oh, I've said dumber things this week, so...
Yeah, but that's unrelated for BrainScratch, so it doesn't count.
I think...
I mean-
we've done a lot of parts today. I could have said something. It might be. It's probably top 5. I don't know if it's the dumbest thing I've said.
Listen, sometimes I don't hear half of the shit that comes out of my mouth until comment section points it out. Most of the time, it's dyslexic shit.
Gosh, John, how dare you mix up the words in the middle of your sentences?
Mr. Krabs, hello. Do you how do? And 12 cats out of 20.
What? Wait, when did we get the other 10?
On the way over here.
You see, it would have been funnier if they only had 9 because cats have 9 lives.
Yeah, he's not.
Wait,
wrong.
hold on, John. In Bubsy, does Bubsy start the game with 9 lives?
I think he does.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me confirm that. 1 second.
Hold on. You need to load up
It's not
your
exactly
copy
a
of
game I commit to
Bubsy.
memory.
Because if they
Are we
don't,
talking like just the first game?
I don't know any of them.
Any of them? Okay, let me
Considering
see.
he dies in one hit, he better have 9 lives.
Yeah, let me see if he's.
Where did that stupid 9 lives thing even come from?
Yeah, there. Yeah, he does start with.
Yeah. Way to go.
So they did at least one slightly clever thing in that game.
Clever.
Well, most platformers don't start with
Bubsy?
9 lives.
Yeah, it's usually 3 or 5. For some reason, Kirby does 7.
But yeah, that's at least I guess maybe not technically clever, but
It's an understated cat pun, I guess.
It's
and
an
you don't get
it's an
understated with Bubsy.
cat pun in a game full of overstated cat puns. So it
Yeah.
deserves
Well,
a fucking award for that.
yeah, we'll take what we can get.
So who wants to do the Bubsy commentary for this channel? And why is it John? Because, I mean, the only Bubsy thing we ever did was we did, for a panel,
Lewis
we
didn't
did...
Well,
Lewis
you know,
didn't exasperate at Psy.
If you're
That
gonna
means
ask
yes.
why is it John, the obvious answer is because he's the only one of us who's crazy enough to own all of the games.
Yeah, basically.
It's true. I have every single one.
Yeah, so you see, we need to do something not normally covered on the Bubsy spectrum. So, John, you're going to record Bubsy 2 on Game Boy, right?
It's actually easier than Bubsy on the on the Genesis and Super Nintendo.
So go for it
But,
then.
no, it's so boring.
It is. It really
What the hell are we
is.
talking about? Okay, so here's a little thing about the cats having 9 lives origin. So an ancient proverb claims a cat has 9 lives. For 3 he plays, for 3 he strays, and for the last 3 he stays. So 9 lives is not so much indicative of like the actual number of lives, but their sequences of life.
Huh.
I always just kind of
see.
thought it was that they can get out of tricky shit. You know? So, like, when they...
Yeah.
Cats always land on
I
their
mean, that's
feet.
kind of what people took it as later, but
Like,
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know about that until I looked it up. Yeah.
I don't know why they needed 3 lives for 3 phases. Like 3 lives each for 3 phases. That's kind of.
it might have been...
Because 3 sounds right.
It might have been a turn of phrase that didn't start in English, and maybe it sounds more...
or it was
poetic.
part of like super old English that doesn't translate to actual English at all.
Have you ever tried to
It
read...
says ancient proverbs.
Oh, wait, no.
So we think ancient proverbs.
I think we had an old English tangent already in this playthrough because we were talking about Hunnet from Octopath Traveler, but reading old English, I had to...
It's straight up impossible.
For a class, I had to read Canterbury Tales in the Old English, and it takes a lot of effort, but sometimes you can sort of understand what they're saying, and you feel really smart once you figure it out. It's just you have to read the same sentence over and over 6 times out loud, sideways, and upside down before you get to that point.
And then Shakespeare is nothing but old English and also tons of puns and inside jokes that you won't get.
Yeah, because Shakespeare was the Marvel Cinematic Universe of the 1600s.
I've never really understood why modern English teachers insist on the whole Shakespeare thing.
I think it's a number of different things. One is that he was hugely popular back when he debuted, and another is that we still have most of his works, whereas many other popular things got lost, essentially. So
Yeah, it's just there are a lot of popular things that are old and, more literatively relevant to the way we speak in right now.
Well,
Do you
I
think,
think it's
like,
also
his...
a means of everyone knows his works via other means. So you can
it's
get away with teaching it and using it as an example of Old English because people
any
will
of
get it
his,
anyway.
like,
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in that way because it's well known because
do
it's
any of
well
his
known.
original playwrights exist still?
They're
I mean,
still
people still
out
write
there.
plays. I mean, Hamilton. So
Wait, are you saying that people?
No.
Oh, you're talking about do those old works like from Shakespeare's
Still
time?
physically exist.
Yeah,
I'm sure
some
there-
of them
I'm
are
sure
out
there's-
there. They're just a lot of them are gone. Is the big thing because they didn't. That's actually an interesting thing about Shakespeare's is that he didn't. A lot of the scripts weren't written down for a long time, and part of that was because they didn't want other theater companies performing Shakespeare plays without actually being the Shakespeare company, whatever the hell it was called. I don't really remember. So I have to assume that a lot of the other plays that made the rounds around that time were also not written down and thus weren't preserved as well, So it kind of makes you wonder whether or not the version of Shakespeare's plays that we know now is the original version or if they changed it after it went on. This is the weirdest Sailor Moon transformation I've ever seen. Okay.
we beat a cat with another cat.
Catfight.
Thunder, thunder, Thundercats.
Okay, now where you see
I was typing in Shakespeare in Google, and the automatic search was, does Shakespeare still matter?
What?
Oh, it was all a dream.
Yep, she sleeps in the nude.
Oh, okay, so I saw the bump under the sheet. And my first inclination is, whoa, does she have a boner? But then I remembered, oh yeah, she's a girl.
She has a penis.
Why did Hatsune Miku crawl out from under the sheet?
Yeah, she sleeps in the nude. She's a fucking pervert. I'm gonna call the cops.
What?
Well, I'm glad that she waited to went outside and let us change before we started talking
Did
about
she
plot.
shrink to the size of a goddamn pumpkin pie or something? Because that was a very small lump under there. Is the blanket a TARDIS too?
I like the 2 frame of animation Mayor on the screen. Oh,
Well, he cuts a better figure on the screen than that guy from Beyond Good and Evil.
Wait. So we have to change her memories to change the past?
No.
Wait. I don't think I'm
What?
understanding what's going on.
We're just talking to her. This is.
I think she might be high.
She looks pretty high.
She's basically a way to go back and get back to the city at the bottom of the world.
Oh, I see.
Oh, so that's why she's talking about memories and contradictions and stuff. Okay. I thought we were talking about, like, discovering Kat's memories and going
she's
back
just
and...
there she's just there to be a way to go back to the kid city.
Okay, you see, with how trippy this game's plot has been, I wouldn't have been too surprised to find out that if we go back in time to change Kat's memories, it would change the real world.
No, it gets way worse in the next game, though.
Oh, ooh, okay.
These predictions are always all over the place. That's because they involve you, and you're all over the place.
So, actually, I was at Best Buy earlier, and I saw that Gravity Rush 2 is only like $20. Is it... You said it's basically a lot improved in the gameplay department from this one? Okay. Would you say the story's not as good, or just it doesn't make sense?
It doesn't make a lot of sense, unfortunately.
Ah, okay. And when...
It raises more questions than it solves. Let's put it that way.
Okay. And 3 is not likely to happen as well.
Unfortunately, no.
Ah, that's a shame. Because,
Because Gravity Rush 1 didn't do terribly well, but I guess they felt enough of a reason because it was like one of the few things that did decently well on the Vita to make another one and put it on an actual popular console, and then 2 just did not do well at all.
Yeah, I guess there just wasn't. It might have. You know what it might have been? It might have been that the first game did as well as it did was because it was one of the only Vita games to get, and when you put it on a console with more competition, people don't want to pick it up. I guess, does that make sense? People have other stuff to play. Like, that's one thing I can imagine. Like, obviously you're gonna have your, it's kind of one of those cult classic-y kind of games, so there is going to be an audience for it, but
The problem with this kind of game is it's not the kind of game that picks up a whole lot of success all at once.
oh yeah, no, this is the kind of game.
You said it's a kind of cult classic-y kind of game, and yeah, that pretty much sums it up. The problem with that kind of game is it's not the kind of game that generates the kind of instant mad success that the industry basically requires nowadays.
Yeah, it's the kind of game that you can buy now for $20, but 10 years from now, finding a used copy is going to be like 60 or more.
Yeah, and then they'll be talking about making a Gravity Rush 3. Unfortunately, the original writers will be gone, and the spirit will be dead.
Yeah, basically.
So...
See Earthbound and 20,000 other cult games.
See Beyond Good and Evil 2, maybe.
Well,
Yeah, you left the stoop.
Even though the original writer is actually involved in that, I'm not really sure he even remembers what he was doing with that series anymore.
Well, Michael Ansel did seem to be interested in doing a Beyond Good and Evil for a long time, though, is the thing.
Yeah.
He just was caught up in doing Rayman for quite a while.
Yeah, it's just like, here we are, suddenly we're not playing as Jade anymore, even though I'm pretty sure that was what we were going to be doing the last time he teased a sequel.
Yeah, well,
So-
they turned it into a prequel instead because reasons?
I don't get it.
Me neither.